Hi, a friend of mine recommended that I start a new series called Heavy Breathing with Rusty. And, basically, I walked part of the way up this hill, and I'm going to walk the rest of the way up this hill, and I'm going to breathe a lot because it's a high elevation, and I'm old, and I'm fat. Here, let me prove. See? Gray, and somewhere down there is some gut. So, old and fat. So here we go. Welcome to the very first episode ever of Heavy Breathing with Rusty. So I hope I'm able to breathe heavy enough to live up to the moniker. We'll see. I have a lollipop that should obstruct my breathing and, affect my speech, so that'll help too. But we have a very necessary jar of liquid because I get thirsty walking up this hill. I haven't done it in I don't know. It's been more than a month. I was doing it every day for a while. And then, I don't know. It's maybe been longer than that. Anyway, something probably hurting my foot or whatever, and I got out of the habit. So now I'm back in the habit. I actually made a deal with my very cool neighbor today. I'm going to water his garden and his grass while he was away. So, that kind of obligation. I'll have to, medically set time each day so I don't forget and go up there and do it. I only actually have to water every other day. And of course, if it rains like it has been, that's even lessened. But I'll just try and, put it in my head. I'm going to do it every day. And if I get up there and it doesn't need it, it doesn't need it, So anyway, got another neighbor, lives up at the top. And I heard through this neighbor that he had to leave some expensive equipment handy up here. So I'm going to go and check and make sure everything's okay with that. And now that makes me think I can't even put this on the internet because people might watch it and then know that expensive equipment's up there for grabs. But the truth is, I only think I have one follower on YouTube, so I think we're probably safe. I'll go ahead and post it. And my idea was to come up and see how exposed his equipment is anyway. Maybe offer to throw an extra chain and lock on it or something for him. But up we go. That's the driveway of the cool neighbors. Very, very cool people. They helped me a bunch. They helped Mom a bunch before she passed. And they helped me a bunch before and after. I like them very much. And this guy here, that property had been empty for years and years. But the cool neighbors knew him, of course, because they're very close neighbors. And but he seems to have passed recently after, a long time of not being able to use his property. And I'm assuming family came up and they actually built a fence around his property, or at least got the posts in. And that's a pretty darn big undertaking up here. But that's where I am, is up here. So let's take a peek around, give you something to look at besides my dirt road. But yeah, it was all rain and gray almost all day yesterday. And today the mountain is still hazy and everything. But it's pretty out. It's nice. You can see a big place up in the hill there. Let me see if I can zoom in a little. There you go. There's a nice big house up there. And back down to normal. There we go. Okay. So, here's a cool tree. Let's see what's happening today. Well, the cat went, and they call them goat heads up here, but they're basically those little cockleburs from back home, except they're smaller, and they turn into basically wood up here. Those some bitches are like needles. Anyway, she's got a new fur coat made out of those things, and she's been wanting to come in the house all day, and I'm like, bullshit, you need to figure that out. I brushed her for a little bit, but then she run off. So she's gonna have to come up with something. All right, time to switch hands. There we go. That's Just a little cul-de-sac goes down that way. And I have walked all through these hills, not on the road, just up and down through them, especially back when old Boozer was alive. We used to go and walk all of this. That's how I lost 50 pounds when I got here too. That and carrying water. Every bit of water that we washed, cooked, drank, or used in some way for 8 months, I hauled from a well, which was quite a ways away, probably about 20 miles up there and around on our property. And I freaking loved it. It's fantastic, you know. Hell, we didn't even have a house yet. We were living outside. Just the freedom of not having a house was something. It was so much fun. But having a house has its perks up here. And we did get inside it right before, literally the day of the first snow. It was October 15th. And it was so mild and nice. It's a lot like this year. A whole lot like this year, in fact. And I think we're getting piñon nuts this year. They're all over the trees. Those things are crazy expensive. But once I tried to get some, there, that tree, I think you'll be able to see them better. Once I tried to get some myself and went out picking them, yeah, there's some of them. There'll probably be something up here with them closer. But basically, you know, they're pine cones with a little nut inside them. And they're freaking delicious. But they're covered with so much sap, they'll ruin your gloves. I have, you know, just some normal split leather working gloves that I picked with them. They were just hard and crusted, and that was that. And you'll get that stuff all over you. Get some in your hair. It ain't going nowhere. Not for a while. Not for a good while. Same thing, get it on your arm. You know, it's going to rip the hair right off your arm. So ladies, if you ever shy of wax and need something to do the job, you just get some off these pinyon pine. And it's going to peel it right off for you. Probably take a little skin too. You might want to test it somewhere first. All right. Here we go. His equipment appears to be still in place, which is good. All right. Let's stop for a second here. Let's see what we got. We need one of these. Yep, just putting my lollipop stick away without getting the inside of my pockets ruined. And I need some of this here water. There we go. All right, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, heavy breathing with Rusty as we walk the hill. Everybody walk your body, get up and walk. Any of you roller skaters remember that? Yeah, that was good stuff. Everybody walking around on roller skates like they didn't have on roller skates. It was, I don't know, it was very cool for a young me. Loved that crap. Remember skating with Joel Sullivan. Now there was a man that could skate. That boy had rhythm. I mean, he could flat out get it. It was pretty awesome. Okay, so it appears that we may have had, oh, okay, yeah, with all the rain, he had a nice mud puddle here. It's dried up a little bit, and he just went through it, so no biggie. But, yeah, he's got his stuff stowed around it. And, okay, he's got a ball hitch on it. Let's see here. Yeah, see, he's got like a lock on his ball hitch there. So that'll make it a little harder for folks. And almost nobody ever comes up here. In fact, I may have been the only person that's walked to the top of this hill, and other than like people I brought with me, who I don't think made it all the way. And who knows how long. Probably probably a decade at least. I don't know. Matt's probably walked up this hill at some point, but heck, he's been out here a long time. And he usually, does crazy, like, amazing race, triathlon type stuff, like riding bicycles on this hill and flying up and down it. He's able to do it. More power to him, And let's get a peek over here at the sun coming through these trees. That's kind of nice. Yeah. All right, up the hill we go. So I recently put together a pretty straightforward little software pack for an Android phone, and just a script and one app, and you can set a phone up and just have it take still photos, and they're automatically uploading to a website I built that's got it's actually an old PHP setup, but when the photos drop in, next time you open the page, you see the new photos. And you can, of course, set the photos to take whatever interval you want. 10 seconds, 2 hours, anywhere in between, whatever you want. And you can even play with the transmission of the photos from the phone to the website to be immediate, on delay, stuff like that. And you can set it to, go back and try the photos that were not transmitted because maybe, you had cell phone outage or internet outage for a little while, storms, whatever. So you can tell it to just send the new ones, or you can go back and just grab all of them at once and say, okay, send all these up there. And of course, they're all time and date stamped. And for once, I, actually set my clock to be right. I think most of us were used to having a VCR that a timer was always freaking wrong on. So, had to sort of break with that kind of tradition in this sense, because it is helpful for the dates to actually match the photos instead of going, oh no, they're all off by 1 year and 14 days and 6 hours. I used to do that on my clocks on cars. It was really annoying to mess with. You just be like, okay, I set it to be 10 minutes fast, and now daylight savings time has changed. So am I 50 minutes off, or am I 70 minutes off? Fun stuff like that. That evidently, I guess, is going away for most of us. No more daylight saving time. I read this article a long time ago, and it so much smacked of the movie Trading Places that it made me think they read the article and wrote the movie. But in it, it says there were a couple of politicians back in the early 1900s, and they made a bet that they could get people, that date might not be right, but anyway, two politicians, American politicians, they decided they were going to make a bet if they could get everybody in America to change their clocks for no reason. And so they bet $1. And if you were a fan of the movie Trading Places, you're starting to remember that the Duke brothers in that movie bet Dan Aykroyd's character and Eddie Murphy's character's lives over $1. And so there you have daylight savings time, supposedly. So, conspiracy theory type stuff. And then now we have a nice bookend with DST going away for an awful lot of folks. So, or is it going away for everybody? I have to look and see. It's been a bit since I heard anything about it. But all that mumbling, bumbling, and heavy breathing, we're getting up to the top of this hill. It took a whole lot of trying just to get up that hill. Now we're up in the big leagues. It's our turn to breathe deeply. It's our turn at bat. There we go. Look at that. And that is one hell of a backyard. But of course, you have to tell people not to be over in their stuff. Now you get trouble up here with tree poachers. They'll come up here and cut down a tree that's so old and worth so much money, and a lot of those old trees, you know, some artist might use it or something, totally unaware that, you know, their medium was stolen. But yeah, that there's Mount Blanca, and this is the first episode of Heavy Breathing with Rusty. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'm glad we all survived. See ya.